Okay, here's the activity for today. So here's the incentive to tackle this one. This is a group activity, so the people at your table, the job is to sort each of the given quadrilaterals into the appropriate category, and you're basing it not on looks, because you notice they all look the same, but you have to go on the characteristics. And so I've given you an example here. I am looking at the characteristics that came out in the first one here. Looks like congruent sides, consecutive pairs of congruent sides. That means consecutive means as you go around in a circular type pattern. Those are two congruent sides side by side. These two guys here. Now, they're not congruent to each other, so it's separate pairs. It's disjoint pairs of congruent sides. And if that rings a bell at all, if you look through your list, then you'll know, hey, I'm talking kite. So I put it underneath kite. And something like 4 congruent sides, like that, that's under rhombus. Now, there are other shapes they could be, but what you have to go off is what's absolute. If I do 4 congruent sides, does that mean it has to be a square? No, it could be just a rhombus. 4 congruent sides, is it a parallelogram? Well, yeah, it's a parallelogram, but it's more specific. It's actually a rhombus. It's super specific. So let me show you your sheet and tell you a little bit how that form is. So by the conditions that are given, I want the most specific shape possible. And so hang on a second, I'll flip the page. Okay, so now if I go 4 congruent sides, that's a characteristic. You basically have to search this and say, what am I talking about? You guys know what it is. It's in our spy organization. If I mention to you in secret on the street that I have 4 congruent sides, remember, you're supposed to repeat back to me, rhombus. That's the only thing that's the most specific shape it could be. It's absolutely determinate that it's a rhombus. Yeah, it's a parallelogram, but more specifically, it's a rhombus. So let's go back to the other page again. You have the pairs of consecutive sides. So if I back up that again, so I get all this stuff off the page, there you go. So this one on the left, the consecutive pairs of congruent sides. That, by image, if I go over, if you look at a couple of others on here, you're searching. Oh, disjoint pairs of consecutive sides congruent. When it falls in one of these lists underneath the shape, these are specific characteristics that point at determinately to this shape. That means you're absolutely talking about a kite. Opposite angles are congruent. Yep, talking about a parallelogram specifically. So those are things that in that list underneath, you're definitely going to get that shape if you see that thing listed. So you guys play on. What I want you to do, now here's the big instruction. Once you get your list and you're sorted, now there's a key that's out there, so I'll give it to Mrs. Johnson so she can check them with you. But I also want you to take your results. I want you to find somebody in your group, tweet to me. Somebody has access to it. Grab your phone. I want you to snap a picture of your result, because I want to know what's going on. I may be out of town, but I can see this. So your group, so that means from each class, I think there are 8 groups. One class, there's 7 groups. But you guys send this off to me. Snap a picture, and when you're done, tweet it off to me. Now, here's the next incentive. Depending on how well you guys do on this, we may have a reward that you can, if you miss or only miss a couple on there, let's put a limit on there, you can visit a particular treasure box in the room for your team. We'll make it entertaining because we all like a little fun once in a while.